Infinite Painter versus Sketchbook Pro using the Samsung Tab S7 Plus. Let's get it. So we are going to be ranking these in 5 categories: price, UI, user experience, user interface, learning curve, enjoyment, and then the pro potential. Can you potentially use this drawing software to make some money? First thing first, we're gonna go to the price. Infinite Painter costs us around $5 to $10. Sketchbook Pro is free. So I would say that Sketchbook Pro wins the battle of price. So we are gonna go to the UI, the user interface. Now, this is one thing that I thought that was cool. You can put reference photos just inside of it. It's a slot that you can put reference photos in, and it is separate of your actual drawing canvas. So what this allows you to do is to pinch out, zoom in, and it not be connected to your canvas. I thought this was very cool. Whoever thought of this really has the artist's best intentions in mind. See that right there? And then we can just make it a reference, and then we can have it like this. And so you can have multiple references just like that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That saves so much time. It's right there in the application. Now, the one thing that I love about Sketchbook Pro is that it has these sliders right here on the side, right here, that I can control the brush size, and I can control the opacity, and it's right here. I don't have to click into nothing or anything like that. It's right here. It's a slider. It's very convenient. Now, Infinite Painter, you have to actually click on it and then adjust the slider. Now, it's a bit of a difference, right? It's a one-step difference, but those couple of seconds can save you time over time. And another thing that I like about Sketchbook Pro is that when we go to create a new, let's say we want to create a new sketch, right? And then we looking at the canvas, we want to create a new canvas. What I like about Sketchbook Pro is that they tell you about how many layers that you can use based on the size of your canvas. And I don't know if y'all can, okay, this is much better. As I was saying, Sketchbook Pro, they show you the amount of layers that you can put up based upon the size of the canvas, the size of the resolution. Infinite Painter doesn't do that. You could just make your canvas size as big as you want to, but you don't really know how many layers. And in fact, let's test it out. Let's see how many layers can we get when using max resolution. And so we already got 3 now. And just to be fair, Sketchbook we can only do 7 on Sketchbook. So we got up to 6, 7, 8, and I think this is it, 9. After 9, it crashes, see? So for the battle of UI, UE, user interface, user experience, it's gonna have to go to Sketchbook Pro just because of the sliders that control the size of the brush and the opacity of the brush, and also the canvas size / layers. You notify me that I can only do a certain amount of layers, and not only notify me, limiting. It won't let me go past 7 layers. Even if I tried, it won't let me go. Infinite Painter, it just lets you, it's just wide open. It lets you do whatever, and it ends up crashing. So I'm gonna have to go with Sketchbook Pro on this one. Now let's talk about the learning curve. Now the learning curve on both of these applications they're very small. It's a very small learning curve simply because of the UI, how they got it set up. It's very simple. It draws you in to draw. You're not cluttered with a whole bunch of tools and stuff that you're probably never gonna use. And it's just very, very simple. It's almost like taking out a sheet of with paper. So Sketchbook Pro was the first actual drawing software that I used when I got into digital art, and Infinite Painter gives me the same vibe. So this is going to be a tie. This is going to be a tie on the learning curve. Now let's talk about which application that I enjoy the most, and that's going to be Infinite Painter. Infinite Painter, I just enjoy using Infinite Painter. One reason why, you can add multiple references. I love that feature. And then also the brushes. It seems like the brush engine in Infinite Painter is very good, better than Sketchbook Pro's brush engine. And not to say that Sketchbook Pro doesn't have a decent brush engine. Infinite Painter's brush engine is just superior to Sketchbook Pro's brush engine. And so I'm gonna have to give the enjoyment to Infinite Painter. So we're gonna get into the pro potential. Can you potentially make money using this software? So what we're gonna do is I did like just some random line drawings on each of the different software at max resolution, and we're gonna upload it to a print on demand site. Now it's called Printful. This is the print on demand site that I use. They do good quality work. So we're gonna see what the DPI is on each of these drawings on max resolution. And what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be looking at the different canvas sizes that we can get this stuff printed out at, because the DPI, as y'all are gonna notice, is gonna change based off of the canvas size. So of course, the bigger the canvas size is, essentially the more DPI you're gonna need for that drawing. So before we get into the numbers, I just wanna make this clear why the DPI is important. The DPI is basically your resolution. It's how clear the picture is. So that's why we want it to be right at 300 DPI, no less than 250 DPI. If you go lower than that, it's gonna start to look blurry a little bit. It's just like a television. You got 4K TV, you got 1080p, you got 720p, right? And then you have 360p. And so you're gonna be able to tell, you can tell the difference between 720, 1080, 4K, 360. You can tell the difference. So when you're doing a commission, you want to have good work. You want your work clear. You done spent hours on this work. You want people to be able to see it clearly. And so that's why DPI matters. So I'm not gonna bore y'all too much with the numbers. Y'all can see the numbers on the screen. I got them split screen so y'all can look at the numbers up there, but we're just gonna go through them quickly. If you are printing a 10 by 10 picture poster, Infinite Painter on max resolution gives you a DPI of 473 versus Sketchbook Pro 625 DPI. If you go to 18 by 18, Infinite Painter has 623 DPI versus Sketchbook Pro 347 DPI. And then if you're printing at 24 by 36, Infinite Painter 197 DPI versus Sketchbook Pro's 260 DPI. So Sketchbook Pro wins the pro potential battle, just because I know that at max resolution I can print out more sizes than Infinite Painter. The more sizes, the more money. You get the picture. So in conclusion, drum roll please. Can I get a drum roll? The winner of Infinite Painter versus Sketchbook Pro is going to be Sketchbook Pro. Sketchbook Pro wins